There are so many unsolved mysteries involving strange letters, so many letters that may hold the secrets to some of history's most bizarre events, and some letters seem insignificant, but maybe we just don't understand them. From history's most notorious serial killer to a secretive occult society, here are the 5 most mysterious letters ever written. In 1924, there was an important British election. The Socialist Labour Party were in power for the first time ever, but in this election, the right-wing Conservative Party won by a landslide. 4 days before the election, the Daily Mail published a mysterious letter. The letter was supposedly written by Soviet officials and implicated the Labour Party in a plot to overthrow Britain's political system and introduced full-blown communism. The letter seemed so authentic that voters swung towards the Conservatives. The letter was leaked to the press after MI5 and the government decided to keep it secret, but some believe the letter was deliberately leaked by the establishment, as they knew it would guarantee a defeat for Labour in the election. The origin of the letter is also a mystery. It was said to have been written by Zinoviev, a leading Soviet official, but Zinoviev denied writing it and the authenticity of the described plot. He said it was fake, and then shortly after the election it became clear MI5 also believed it was fake. Most historians today believe the letter was forged to guarantee a conservative election. In those days, no one knew how far communist revolutions would spread. I imagine MI5 would have been scared of violent revolt, so that would explain the forgery. But some historians still believe the letter to be genuine, and say if it were not for its interception, capitalism may have been overthrown. Many of the most notorious serial murderers targeted young couples. V3X Killer did this also. In 1930, he approached a young couple at night. He shot the man dead and raped the woman. He then walked her to somewhere safe and gave her a note before disappearing into the night. The note said Joseph Mazinski, 3x3x097. 2 days later, a mysterious letter arrived at a nearby newspaper office. It said, "Kindly print this letter in your paper for Mazinski's friends. CC, NY, ADCM, Y16A, DQR, PA 241, PM6, Queens. By doing this, you may save their lives. We do not want any more shooting unless we have to." It was published, but the next day a new letter arrived. This one attacked Mazinski's personal character. Oh, by the way, Mazinski was the man who was shot. The letter described the murder and said that Mazinski died as the killer believed he possessed some mysterious documents. But the documents weren't found. The killer demanded said documents be sent to him, otherwise 14 more people would die. Before long, the killer approached a new couple, shot the man and gave the woman a note. He then sent a letter to the newspaper explaining the second murder. The victim was a friend of the first. The letter warned that 13 more would die if the documents were not soon returned to him. But a while later, the 3X Killer sent a final letter to the police. It said the killer was from a mysterious group of anti-communist activists, that the documents had been delivered to him and so there would be no further killings. And just like that, the 3X Killer disappeared. His identity was never discovered, and the murders are unsolved. All that remains is a string of deaths and mysterious letters. In the possession of Pennsylvania's Historical Society is a mysterious letter. The letter, written in Jamaica 300 years ago, tells of a fortune of Spanish gold and currency. It gives directions to where a large chest containing the wealth is located. The letter ends with the request the reader burn it immediately to make sure no one else learns of the treasure. The letter was never destroyed, so clearly something went wrong. But this gives hope to a local treasure hunter who thinks it means the treasure was never discovered. He also thinks he knows where the treasure is located. He claims the letter leads to Philadelphia's Society Hill neighborhood, where the treasure may be buried. It's unclear how genuine the letter is, or how it ended up in Pennsylvania. But I want that letter, and I want that treasure. Golden Dawn isn't just a Greek political movement, it's also the name of a secret occult society who engaged in black magic rituals in the late 19th century. They experimented with all kinds of chemicals and bizarre objects, just like your dad has. One of the sources of their beliefs was a series of letters from a German woman called Anna Sprengel. The letters contained various mystic claims, which raised so many questions. But one of the most important questions is whether she even existed. She was described as a mysterious and worldly countess, daughter of the King of Bavaria. It seems that she wasn't a real person though. She was most likely invented by Golden Dawn members to give their wacky ideas some legitimacy, so the letters were probably just false. But still, maybe this wise, esoteric countess did exist, and share her knowledge of magic. Either way, it's a great story. While investigating Jack the Ripper, police receive hundreds of letters, some of which claiming to be from the Ripper himself, and although most were dismissed as fake, others were carefully looked at. And still today, historians wonder if any of them were genuinely from the Ripper. There are 2 letters and a postcard in particular said to be genuine. The From Hell letter was delivered along with half a human kidney. It said he ate the other half after killing the woman it belongs to. The letter was addressed to George Lusk, head of the neighborhood watch. There's an obvious question. If not from the Ripper, how do we explain the kidney? And why was only half of it sent? The Dear Boss letter openly taunted investigators. The letter was full of mockery for police. I am down on whores and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Grand work the last job was. I gave the lady no time to squeal. How can they stop me now? It goes on to be signed yours truly, Jack the Ripper. In the letter, he promised to cut the ears of his next victim, so when the body of Catherine Eddowes was found with an earlobe removed, police took the letter very seriously. They made it public, hoping someone would recognize the handwriting, but no one came forward. Oh my polar god, that's the end of this video. I made this a top 5 so I could go into more detail than I usually do. In the words of my mother, if you can't go into detail when discussing mysterious letters, you may as well be dead. She never said that. So that's the end of this video. If you want to support this channel, you can do so simply by leaving a like. And if you want more content from me, I have a second channel where I do different videos about different things.